Ever say to yourself, I can't do that. It's too hard. Listen to this episode and maybe you'll change your mind a little bit. Welcome to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Berg, speaker, author, sales trainer, website reviewer, here to help you in your wedding and event business sell more, profit more, and have more fun doing it. Enjoy this episode. I think many of us have come across an opportunity where we've said, you know what, that looks hard. I'm not even going to try that. That is a defeatist mentality that you're really limiting yourself as to what you can achieve because you didn't even try. There are times when you should be trying something because it's hard. Push yourself past what you think you're capable of doing, and then you see, you've moved the bar down. You've moved it down the road, and now you can do even more and do even more. I remember when my friends and I went skydiving, and we got our T-shirts that say, skydiving, what's the worst that could happen? They actually do say that. You know, it changes your perspective on, well, if I can step out of a perfectly good airplane at 13,500 feet, what else can I do? And that's just one example. But I think we've all come across some things and said, you know what? Thanks, but I'm not going to even try this. I can't do it. I learned back in my Taekwondo days that Taekwondo was mental training, not physical training. And I was puzzled by that when I first started because we were kicking and punching and breaking things. And why is this mental training if we're doing all this stuff with our hands and our feet? And what it was showing you what you're capable of beyond what you thought you might have been capable of before. There were times when the Taekwondo master would hold up a board a certain way, and he would ask us, this was the adult class, and this was really anybody from 16 and older, and we had people up into their 50s and 60s, and we had people in their 20s and 30s. And he would say, who can break the board this way? It's a way that we had never seen before. And he didn't show us, he didn't do it. He held the board and said, who can break it this way without actually doing it and showing us? So I guess we weren't even sure if he could do it, but we were pretty sure because he was the master, so that he could do it. Well, what happened next was half the class would try it. They'd say, I can try this. And half the class wouldn't even try. They said, I can't do that. Well, and he'd say, well, I wouldn't ask you to do something if I thought you might get hurt. So now who wants to try? And the same half of the class would say, I'll try. And the other half still said, I won't try. I can't do that. That was their attitude, was I can't do that. And that was the mental training. Saying I can't do something that I've never tried before means you're already right. You can't do it because you won't even give yourself that chance. You won't even try something. It was amazing some of the ways that we pushed ourselves there. But I think the same thing applies to business. The same thing applies in your life. What else can you do that you're not doing now? For me, I've chosen to learn new languages. It's one of the hardest things to do, they say, as an adult. And I remember I was in South America and somebody asked me, so why did you decide to learn Spanish? And there were many reasons, but one of them is porque es difícil, because it's hard. We need to do things that are hard to push ourselves. We don't know what else we can do. So what else are you putting off because you think, oh, that's hard, or I can't do that? You know what? We all stumble in the beginning. First time you try a new sport, right? What happens? You don't do it well right out of the box. Or maybe you try something like, oh, that worked pretty well. That happened to me when I first tried, axe throwing. After a bunch of them, I got this bullseye. It's like, whoa, it gave me a lot of confidence. But it was a long time after that till I hit another bullseye. As a matter of fact, getting the hatchet to stick took a long time after that. So that one was just lucky, maybe just lucky there. But you have to give yourself that opportunity to fail, which lets you then succeed. It's taking that chance. So what are hard things that you're putting off? What's something that you want to do, but you're like, oh, I can't do that. I was actually talking to Brandy Gar. Brandy is going to be on the podcast. I'm not sure if this is coming out before or after that. And Brandy was talking about writing a book. I said, so do it. You don't write a book, you write words. Words get edited into chapters, and then chapters become a book, and then formatting makes it look like a book. But you're putting it off. Why? Right? Is it too hard? Is it timing? And timing is certainly something for everybody, but why not? Like, why not try that? What's the worst that happens so you don't get there? I've actually written a book that I decided not to publish. I decided I didn't want to go in that direction. I started working on another one a similar way. I have my new book coming out, Why Are They Ghosting Me? And I was actually writing a website book before that, and I had a lot of it done and decided that wasn't the book I wanted to put out right now. So I switched to a different one. And that wasn't because it was hard. It was because of my direction. I decided to go in a different direction. Regardless of the work that I put in, it wasn't the right timing for that. But see, writing a book for me is easier now because this is my 6th book. I remember writing my first book. I reached out to authors that I knew, speakers and authors, and I said, what do I need to know that I don't know? And that's the thing, is when you haven't done it, you just don't know what you don't know. And there were some things that required some work that I had to do, thinking about why I was writing a book and who was my audience and things like that. But the writing part, that wasn't so hard for me because I was already writing. I was writing articles and things. But if you're thinking about writing a book, think about, who's the audience? What value do you have to bring to them? And then just start writing. I think we get caught up in I'm writing a book. No, you're just writing words. Words get formatted into that. And then what else in your life are you not doing? Are you not doing, some sport? Are you not doing something in your personal life? Starting to work out, it's hard because if you haven't been working out, man, you're probably going to be sore. But that's what they call that good sore. But taking that first step, that first step, what was it? Lao Tzu who said that? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, right? It does. What's that first step? And for some people, we don't do that because we perceive it to be harder than it is. Or maybe it is hard, but that's okay. Porque es difícil, because it's hard. That's a good reason for doing some things, because they're hard. Because that'll make it easy for us to do other things, because that balance, when you look, hey, I was able to do that. This is nothing over here. So take a look at something that appears to be hard, take a good hard look, and then take that first step. And please share your success stories with me. Thanks. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. Full transcripts of this and every episode are available on my website at alanberg.com. And if you have any questions about anything in this episode or any of the episodes, or you'd like to make a suggestion for a future topic or a guest for one of my dialogue episodes, you can email me directly at alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com. Please subscribe to this channel, post a review if your platform allows it, and if you don't get email updates of the latest episodes, as well as upcoming workshops and masterclasses that I have, you can join at connectwithalanberg.com. I look forward to seeing you on a future episode. Thanks.